Happy Tuesday! Happy Tuesday! I hope you're having a great day today. It is Tuesday, February 2nd. It's the second day of February. Let's look at our calendar. We've got our kitten calendar here. Yeah, last year we had puppies. This year we have kittens. Okay, let's find the second on here. Right here. Yeah, it's February 2nd. And it says right up here, it's a Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, February 2nd. And at the very bottom, it says February, and it's got the year 2021. Okay, today it is cold outside. There we go. It is cold today. And I've got two really good books to look at. Here we go. This first one is wonderful. It's called Nathan and Nicholas Alexander. Let's look at this. One night, oh, the pictures are good. It says one night, let's look. While Nathan was fast asleep, some very strange noises came out of his toy chest. Swish, 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 boom, clack, pop, click, bang. Oh, those are fun sounds. So he turned on the light and took a big breath. Then he crept towards the toy chest and peeked inside. See him looking inside his toy chest? Ouch, Nathan cried after receiving a painful bite on his snout. Yeah, you see his trunk right there? Excuse me, sir, but you quite frightened me. Besides, don't you know it is in very bad taste to enter someone's home without knocking first? Oh, wow. Look at the mouse talking to Nathan. But this is my toy chest, Nathan replied. I've just moved in, so if you don't mind, now it's my house as well. And by the way, let me introduce myself properly. My name, sir, is Nicholas Alexander. Oh, I see him introducing himself. I come from a family that lived amongst kings and dwelled in castles and told tales to the queen of fairies and dragons. I know quite a lot, sir. Wow, look at the castle back there. I don't care, Mr. Alexander, where you came from, said Nathan. This is my toy chest. Oh, please call me Nicholas. And now I really must do my cleaning before the night is over. See how Nicholas is throwing the toys and everything everywhere? Nicholas Alexander dusted and swept and polished. He was quite pleased with what he saw, but Nathan was not. See how things are spread everywhere? This toy chest is mine, he cried. Couldn't you share it with a friend? No, shouted Nathan. He grabbed Nicholas Alexander and flung him across the room. Oh my. Then Nathan looked inside the toy chest. It was divided into two equal parts. Over each hung a tiny sign with beautiful gold letters. One sign said Nicholas Alexander, and the other one said Nathan. Oh, wow, look how he's divided it. See, that area right there is for Nathan's stuff, and this is Nicholas Alexander's house. Nathan read his name letter by letter. I like it, he said. Mr. Alexander really does know quite a lot, he thought. Maybe it would be nice to have him as a friend. He could show me how to write my name in teeny tiny letters, really fancy ones with golden ink. He could help me with my homework, and I could show him how to do puzzles. We could even read my books together. Mr. Alexander, I mean Nicholas. Now he's looking for him. I'm sorry I got angry, said Nathan. That's quite all right, sir. It happens to the best of friends. Then you would still like to be my friend? Asked Nathan. Of course, said Nicholas. I think we should get on quite well. Now, about the fishing trip I've planned for tomorrow morning. A fishing trip, cried Nathan. I've never been on a fishing trip before. Just one of the many things we will be doing, said Nicholas. It's late now, and your toys need putting away. Together, they picked up the puzzle pieces, collected all the toys, and then put them neatly into Nathan's side. It was well into the night, and a full moon shone in the sky. They were both rather sleepy. It had been quite an evening. As Nathan snuggled into bed, he whispered across the room, Nicholas, this is not the end of a dream, is it? No, said a muffled little voice. No, sir, this is the beginning of an extraordinary friendship. The end. And right here we see them fishing together. That was a great book. That was called Nathan and Nicholas Alexander. Okay, I've got one more book to look at today. This one has got beautiful pictures. It's called Bringing the Rain to Kapiti Plain. And it rhymes. So, okay, let's read this. This is the great Kapiti Plain, all fresh and green from the African rains. A sea of grass for the ground birds to nest in, and patches of shade for wild creatures to rest in, with acacia trees for giraffes to browse on, and grass for the herdsmen's pasture their cows on. Oh, great, look at that. But one year the rains were so very belated that all of the big wild creatures migrated. Then Kaipat helped to end that terrible drought. And this story tells us how it came about. This is the cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. See the rain cloud right here? This is the grass, all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead. The big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. These are the cows, all hungry and dry, who mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass, all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead. The big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. Okay, we see the cows right there. See how the grass is dry and brown? This is Kaipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kaipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead. The big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. There's Kaipat right there. This is the eagle. Okay, so there's the eagle right there. It says, this is the eagle who dropped a feather that helped to change the weather. It fell near Kaipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kaipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead. The big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. Okay, so right here we see Kaipat, and then we see the feather that fell from the eagle. This is the arrow Kaipat put together with a slender stick and an eagle feather, from the eagle who happened to drop a feather that helped to change the weather. So there's the feather right there, and see how he's made it into an arrow? It fell near Kaipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kaipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead. This big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. This is the bow, so long and strong, and strung with a string, a leather thong. A bow for the arrow Kaipat put together, with a slender stick and an eagle feather, from the eagle who happened to drop a feather that helped to change the weather. Yeah, there's the bow and arrow right there. There's Kaipat putting it together. It says, it fell near Kaipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kaipat, whose cows were hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead. The big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. Oh wow, look at Kaipat shooting the arrow. This was the shot that pierced the cloud and loosened the rain with a thunder loud. A shot from the bow so long and strong, and strung with a string and a leather thong. A bow from the arrow Kaipat put together with a slender stick and an eagle feather, from the eagle who happened to drop a feather that helped to change the weather. Ooh, look at this thunder and lightning, and see how it's starting to rain? It fell near Kaipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kaipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead. The big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. See how the rain's starting to fall? So the grass grew green and the cattle grew fat, and Kaipat got a wife and a little Kaipat. So see how all the grass is green? Yeah, and there's Kaipat. Yeah, right there. Well, Kaipat's son tends the cows now and shoots down the rain when black clouds shadow Kapiti Plain. So there's Kaipat's son right there. The end. That was a great book. That was called Bringing the Rain to Kapiti Plain. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, friends.